Thank you for joining us again today on To Serve and Protect, the program brought to you weekly by the Orange County Sheriff's Office. We always like to bring subjects to you so that you can understand what we're doing in the community, what we are doing in your community, what together we can do so much more. One of the best programs we have for kids is called B.A.D.G.E. And our guest today, we're going to explain to us what B.A.D.G.E. is all about. Deputy Steve McKenzie is with the B.A.D.G.E. program. And also we have two students here, Ryan Terry and Kiki Austin. We'll get to them in just a moment. But first, Steve, how did you get in law enforcement? Where are you from originally?
I'm from New York City originally.
New York City?
Yes, I moved down here was approximately 7, 8. And
really?
Yes, I got my law enforcement start in corrections first.
In corrections?
Mm-hmm.
And then you came up here?
Into law enforcement, right. I started with the Winter Park, the PD, and then I came over to Orange County.
For heaven's sakes alive, did you always want to be a law enforcement officer?
No,
it just happened.
Yeah, it just happened, exactly.
I just think you could have been an attorney with a lot of money.
Oh, yes, I wish.
How long have you been with the Sheriff's Office, Steve?
Approximately 8 years.
8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you just sort of, you recently transferred into the B.A.D.G.E. program, right?
Correct.
What was it about the program that...
I was in B.A.D.G.E. back in '92. Doing the first summer program. And
I see.
B.A.D.G.E. is a wonderful program, so I wanted to come back.
What does B.A.D.G.E. stand for?
But that's the acronym for Becoming Achievers, excuse me, Becoming Achievers and Doers through Guided Education.
And what's it for?
B.A.D.G.E. is a program run by the Sheriff's Office. It's a twofold program. It's an after-school program, which is run during the school year, and it's a summer program.
It is. Now, where do you get your kids, and what type of kids do you have?
We get out kids from middle schools, public middle schools, from the ages of 11 to 15, and they have to maintain a 2.0 average, grade-point average.
Where do they come from? How do you recruit them?
We just go to middle schools, and we just put the word out that we've got this program, and we're in need of signing up kids.
What about the program do you think is attractive to youngsters to have them sign up for it?
I can't speak for them, but the B.A.D.G.E., I think kids like it because it's fun, and they come in here and they can learn a lot and go on a lot of field trips.
Do they learn a lot, though?
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, it is a serious program.
A lot of educational, but,
yeah.
Oh yes, hands-on stuff.
It is hands-on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have a certified teacher?
Yes, that goes with us, yes.
Goes with the school, and she does actually teaching. So
Correct.
they learn there the things that perhaps were a little difficult for them to learn in the regular classes?
Say hypothetically, if they have a math problem and they come into B.A.D.G.E., the teacher that's with us can help and give them a one-on-one help in math, so it would further their skills.
Well, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk to Ryan here. Ryan, how old are you? What grade are you in?
I'm 13 and I'm in 8th grade.
You're in 8th grade? And how long have you been in the B.A.D.G.E. program? Ryan?
2 years.
2 years. What was it about the B.A.D.G.E. program that you first thought might be good for you?
I had a friend that was in it, and he kind of explained in depth what it was like, and I heard him putting the word out, like he said, and I decided to go and see what it was like, and I liked it a lot.
What is it about the B.A.D.G.E. program that is more interesting than the other school classroom work?
Because it's more like your friends teaching you things, and it's like they teach you things that you are supposed to know, but you might not know, or you might get left behind, and they can help you with your homework, and it's more like based on a friendship then.
So you feel that you're learning more than you would in another classroom?
Yeah, definitely.
What subjects are the toughest to you?
Probably math, just all the homework that we have in it, and I'll go in there and they'll help me with anything.
You're 13 now, and I know it's very difficult for you to look in your crystal ball and see when you're 20, but do you have any idea what you might want to get into when you get older?
Well, they have a program for people who want to get into law enforcement, and I'd like to try that. I'd like to try law enforcement, I think.
You'd like to try law enforcement?
Yeah, because
boy, that's very brave. That really is. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for about 8 years, but I've never wanted to be a law enforcement officer because I don't have the courage. I really and truly don't. I think they deserve a lot of credit, And if I were king or queen or whatever, they certainly would get paid double of what they're making, because they take the chances for people like you and me that we would never consider taking. So I hope that, I wish you a lot of luck in what you're planning to do. Kiki, how about you? What is it about the badge program that attracted you?
Well, my sister was in there the year before I started, and she was telling me that it was a lot of fun, and my mom and my stepdad, they were also telling me that it was a lot of fun to be in this program, and I would also learn a lot, and I could bring up my grades.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Did it happen to her too, your sister? Did her grades improve when she was in the...
Yeah, her grades improved a lot. Yeah, now she's in the 10th grade now.
And what grade are you in now?
I'm in the 8th.
You're in the 8th. You're both in the 8th grade. What do you think? Have you any idea what kind of field you might be interested in getting into when you get older?
I wanted to become a psychiatrist.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness sakes. Why a psychiatrist?
Because people often tell me their problems, and I just kind of like listening and helping people solve their problems mostly.
Well, that's marvelous. That's marvelous. I hope that you get your wish. It's going to cost you a lot of hard time and effort and study. Do you think you can hang on to those study habits? Have you different study habits now than you used to have?
I'm willing to do it.
You're willing to do
make
it?
something out of myself. I'm willing to do it.
What do your folks think?
Well, my mom, she's happy, and she encourages me to do a lot of things that I've never done before, and she likes for me to do a lot of different things instead of sticking with just one thing to do. So.
What do you do in your spare time, Kiki?
I read, or I help other people like with homework and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
You like reading too, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
lot
big
of fun.
secret. Ryan, do you read?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good books around to read that they can just transport you out to everything.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. What about your families? Do you have a brother or anyone that perhaps has been in the badge program before you got there?
Yeah, I have a sister who she's only in 6th grade, so this is her first year in. But
Oh, I see.
she knew about the badge program from me, and now she's in badge.
And you think you'd make better grades in badge?
Yeah, my grades improved a lot since badge. It shows you, it gives you maybe a glimpse of the real world. I don't know. They tell you about how much money you might need, or they do things like that on on what is out there, and costs of certain things and things like that.
Cost of college in itself
Yeah,
is
they
pretty
do that.
tough. Yeah. And you think that the other kids in your classes, they all have the great attitude that you two have?
Not some of them, no.
Not some. Well, there's always a few, but overall, I would imagine they're.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think everybody who's in it.
Kiki, Ryan said something about one thing that he enjoyed about the program, that you all really it was more of a personal relationship with your teachers and what have you. Is that true?
Yes, because you kind of look up to these teachers as if they were some of your parents, because they teach you almost the same things that your parents teach you, and you learn more from them. And you kind of look up to them as if, they were your aunt or uncle or somebody like that. So, yeah, actually, you do get to know them on, a personal level, a professional level, too.
Well, it looks, Steve, like you have a lot to live up to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many of these kids go back and slide back instead of going forward? Do you have a pretty good record?
We tally our badge numbers annually via Orange County Teletype, and we've got a success rate of about 98%.
98%.
98%.
I think that's what Sergeant Gregory told me. She's been in charge. In fact, she put this program together years ago.
Back in
and
92.
Guided it, and it's grown so fast that now she has to really run around to keep up with it all.
Yeah. Stays busy.
Do you ever see any of the kids after they leave badge?
Well, yes, we've got some 9th graders now
Oh,
that
really?
comes back.
What do they say?
They don't have anything better to do at the house, and badge is one of the greatest things that has ever entered their lives, so
Really?
they come back.
What about discipline in the classroom? I mean, I've seen some classrooms that are like a battlefield.
It's a privilege to be in badge, so the kids come well behaved.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You don't ever have any problems?
No,
What if you should have a problem maker?
then we'll take care of that problem.
And how?
Well, we'll hurt them where it counts the most, field trips.
Ah.
We'll take the field trips away, and that normally solves it.
I guess I would do it.
Yeah.
What about the field trips? Have you been on field trips, Kiki? What was your favorite field trip?
My favorite field trip was to South Carolina when we went whitewater rafting during the summer. That was my favorite trip because I got to spend a lot of time with my friends, and it kind of gave us a chance to get away from our parents, you know, do a lot of things we never did, and plus I've never been whitewater rafting before.
Are you going to go again?
Yes, I'm going this summer.
Oh, you
I'm
really
planning on
liked it. Ryan, how about you?
My favorite field trip was Washington, D.C. when we went there, because we went for a reading club field trip that's where you read a certain number of books and take a test on the books, and you get to go if you pass the tests, and you read like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10.
Wow.
And it was a real fun field trip. We got to do a lot of, we got to go on a tour of the White House, got to do all kinds of stuff like that.
What thing did you like best of the DC trip?
Probably the mall we went to. That was very fun.
The mall.
It was 4 stories. It was big.
Oh,
It
my
was-
heavenly days. Well, it sounds to me that these field trips are something extra special. So if, Steve, am I correct in assuming that if the child goofs up or if he starts slipping in his grades or something like that, there's a chance that he won't be able to go on some of these very good field trips?
That's correct. But most of the field trips are earned. Like what Ryan was saying, you have to read a certain amount of books, take a test on those books, and then if you score high enough, then you'll be able to go on the field trip.
Oh, that's great.
Correct.
That's great.
Mhm.
Do you two think that's fair?
Oh yeah, it's fair.
I
Is
think
it?
so,
Yeah, yeah. It makes you really earn your trip, doesn't it?
especially during the summer.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine so. I can imagine so. Now, during the summer, there's a different little program, I understand.
Right, so
We'll get
summer
into that
program.
in a moment.
Okay.
We're going to take a break right now, but we do want to get in what happens during the summer. I want to thank you. And Kiki, you're going to leave us for a few moments and let another young student come in. Thank you for being with us. I wish you a lot of luck, and if you are a psychiatrist, I'll probably go visit you one of these days. Thank you so much. We'll be back in just a moment.
These youngsters are learning from experience how to compete, how to improve their performances, be part of a team, learn the rules of sportsmanship, and more importantly, how to take care of their bodies and stay healthy and strong, and how to stay healthy and happy in mind, body, and spirit. For those not smart enough to stay away from these poisons, their hopes and dreams will end forever. Drugs kill.
Today's families are constantly changing, and 4-H continues to change too. With 4-H, parents and communities support and care for their children. 4-H enriches the lives of young people. 4-H gives kids the skills they need for a positive future. 4-H, for kids and parents. A common ground, building relationships. 4-H, more than you ever imagined. Contact your county extension office for more information.
We're talking today about the badge program that the Orange County Sheriff's Office really created for kids that have a little bit of difficulty in learning in the big classroom where there are 42 kids and everybody's talking at one time. We have with us our Deputy Stephen McKenzie, who's assigned to the badge program, Ryan Terry, who was with us for the first part of the program, and also we have with us Michael Antoine. So we got to talk with you in just a moment, Michael, find out a little bit about you. But first of all, Steve, you say that there is an after-school program.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what about the summertime?
There's a summer program for the summer months that the kids are out of school.
Oh, really? What do you do?
You would have to be in the after-school program and maintain a 2.0 during that school year in order to qualify to be in the summer program. But in the summer program, we at least law enforcement teach the youth a curriculum cross between dare and great gang stuff, and we have a teacher that's on site also at each school, and it's just, you know, we're like a mentorship.
Now, during the summertime, do the teachers teach the regular curriculum, like reading, writing, arithmetic, and what have you?
Yes, yes.
That's
But
during
it's
the
nothing
summer.
that's
Okay.
forced, or it's all fun stuff.
Yeah.
Fun, right?
And you teach the cross between the DARE and the GREAT program.
Correct.
And the
Right.
kids understand it, and
Oh, yeah.
they support
Kids,
it?
yes, they love it. Love it.
Let me ask you, tell me, what is the DARE program?
It's where we learn about people. Well, one lady had been in rehab for drugs and stuff, and she told us, you know, really what it was like and stuff, and how, you know, she had to overcome things like that. And it's just like drug awareness. They just tell you what these drugs can really do to you.
You
And
believe them?
yeah, definitely. It's people who are around it most of the time, you know. So it's for some people, I think it's like a wake-up call, because they hear stuff on the street about how it is or whatever, and they let you know the facts and the rumors about drugs. And
So chances are pretty nil that you're going to be playing around with drugs, right?
yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. Let's find out about Michael. Michael, what grade are you in, and how old are you?
I'm in 8th grade. I'm 14 years old.
Good deal. You're all 8th graders. That's fine. And how did you get into the badge program? What was it about it that you applied?
Well, at first, I tried to sign up, and I didn't try it. Then I wouldn't try to be in. Then I had some problems during my school year. Like, I had some problem of self-esteem. So my safe coordinator for my school, I told her about it, and she see if there was an open slot, and there was an open slot, and I got in badge.
Oh my goodness sakes! And what is badge? What usefulness have you gotten out of badge?
Well, badge helped me that if I try hard and hard, that if I didn't succeed, I could still try hard and go over my goals.
Oh, that's marvelous. You know, trying harder and harder, every one of us have had to face some sort of failure sometime in our lives, but you keep trying harder and harder,
Yes.
and you're beginning to feel better about yourself already, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite subject that you study in the classroom?
My favorite subject is history.
History. That's unusual. You like to read about history?
Mm-hmm.
My heaven's sakes. Do you have any idea at all what you're going to get into when you get out of school?
But when I go to high school, I'll be more aware about the history
Sure.
going on. That when of all the wars, all the hatefulness in the past, that we know that we gotta make sure that it don't happen again
You're
throughout
right.
the future.
You're right. You're right. That's probably one of the biggest things that we human beings have to do. And of course, your generation will be carrying on for us, so it's going to be a big job. Have you been on any field trips with the badge program?
Yes, a lot.
Oh, really? Didn't you have to earn each one?
Mm-hmm.
What did you have to do?
Well, I had to read a certain amount of books, like Ryan says, to go on spring break field trips.
Oh,
I
my.
have to do some essays.
Do you like writing?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Very good. Go ahead.
And other stuff about my grades to make sure I get my 2.0.
And you have a
average.
2.0.
Mhm.
What are some of the field trips you've gone on?
Well, I've been to North Carolina, Washington, D.C., and my best overall trip is New Orleans when I was in 6th grade, because that was the first time I went to another state other than Florida.
Oh my, that's marvelous. New Orleans is quite a city too. When you went up to, was it North Carolina?
Yeah.
Did you go whitewater rafting?
Mhm.
Oh. Do you like that?
Yes, it was fun.
You want to go again?
Mhm.
Yeah, I see her eyebrow goes up every time I mention it. Bless your heart. Let me get back here to Steve on a more serious note. These youngsters obviously feel like they're really doing something. They feel like Badge is helping them, not only on a scholastic basis, from what I gather, but also on a personal basis, on a self-esteem basis.
Yes.
And that is something that's very difficult to be able to do. Obviously, the public schools haven't done that
Right.
for whatever reason. But you all have in the badge program. Do you have any way to follow up the kids and see just how they end up?
In later life, is what
Yes,
you're saying?
I know you've only been, how long have we had the badge program?
Since 1992.
1992. So the ones that graduated in 92 would be in college, I would imagine now, wouldn't
Yes,
they?
ma'am, probably.
So have you been in touch with any of those?
I personally haven't.
No.
I don't know if any other
Yeah.
badge member has, but
I would imagine, though, that they probably did much better than they would have done had it not been for the badge program.
I do say so. I've often said that this program is the best thing that could happen to middle school, because in DARE, at least in the elementary school, you've got DARE.
Yeah.
DARE talks about drug resistance. Then when you get to the middle school, there isn't really anything there other than the GREAT program, which talks about more of a gang. But middle school kids are kind of feely kids. They're searching for something. BADGE steps in, and now the kids have an opportunity not to go, like Michael said, in-state field trips, but out-of-state field trip. That was his first out-of-state field trip. So a lot of kids haven't left, Florida,
Yeah.
get to experience going out of state.
Have you made a lot of friendships?
Mm-hmm.
Have you hang out with some of your friends that are in the badge program?
Yeah.
And one question that I have to ask, because I know New Orleans a little bit, did you like the food?
Yes. Food.
What was your favorite dish that you had in New Orleans?
Well, I couldn't say much because we didn't have any kind of spicy food.
Oh, yeah?
So, but my favorite restaurant was when we went to Planet Hollywood down in New Orleans.
Oh, my. Well, that really was a trip.
Mm-hmm.
These trips are pretty special. What happens, from what I understand, the deputy was saying, if the kids don't keep their work and earn the trips, they don't go. I imagine they're pretty disappointed, aren't they?
Yeah, but they know when they're not going to go, and they can't. Some try to argue with them, but you can't really argue if you haven't done any of the work. So they're mad, but some of them quit, or if they don't go on the programs because they don't want to work. But most of the kids aren't. They see that opportunity and they jump at it. So.
In other words, they don't go because they didn't need
Put forth the work.
They put forth the effort.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you found yourself being more willing to put forth efforts to try harder in different things than you did before you started the badge
Yes.
program? And what, can you explain that to me a little bit?
It was like, for the beginning, like I was having a very hard time during middle school, but then the badge program, like every time I have problems, I go and talk to them. If I have any work that I need help on, they help me on them. And in the middle of the year, we have this event called the Academic Olympiad, and so they see what kind of academic work we did during the beginning, like spelling, math. Ask some questions. Do we know some of the questions?
I'll be darned. Well, it sounds like you all have an awful lot of fun, because your face is so full of animation when you're talking about this Olympics and all these different things. I guess that's something that you thoroughly enjoy and you learn from too, don't you?
Yes.
You said history is one of your favorite subjects. Are you studying history in the badge program?
A little bit.
A little bit, but not so
Yeah.
much. You read though, right?
Yeah.
Do you read books on history?
Mm-hmm.
Did you used to read as much as you do now?
Not that much, but now I'm reading a lot now.
Really? What's caused that?
Well, thing is, when Badge do things nice like going spring break field trip for reading, they want to see if people read, and when you read, they say you learn more for reading.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Well, Steve, it sounds like you all are really doing everything right with these kids.
Trying.
How many schools are you in?
Currently 7.
7.
Mm-hmm. And they are Piedmont, Middlebrook, Lockhart, Westridge, Walker, Union Park, and Discovery Middle.
Mm-hmm. And you can actually, as an adult, you can actually probably see the difference between the badge kids and the kids that are in regular classes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I can well imagine that.
Yeah.
Do you suppose that someday you might expand the program to other schools? I know that you don't know, but I'm just guessing because it sounds like it'd be a great thing to do.
We picked up Discovery this year. We might expand some more. Yes, ma'am.
I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Are there deputies that, like you, that would be interested in helping out?
Oh, yes.
How many deputies are involved right now?
It's just myself, my Sergeant Colleen Gregory, and Deputy Tony Molina.
And the
right
rest
now.
is the teaching staff, right?
Our Orange County teachers, Miss Selena Edwards.
Oh, Selena, yes, we've had her as a guest before.
Yes.
She's very good. She's great with the kids. Do you all have, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't she
She's
great?
fun.
Yeah,
She
she's
has a
real
real
nice.
gift, yeah. She just, when she's in the classroom, that's her place.
That's the
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find that you both, do you find that in your classes that you have here in the DARE program, are they less noisy than the ones in the other classes, regular classes?
Yeah, especially with Miss Edwards in there. It's not. It doesn't get too noisy
Because what?
because it's a privilege, like he said. So most of the kids won't abuse the privilege because they know they're serious. They don't. There's not too many second chances you get in badge. And most of the kids, when they say quiet, most of the kids quiet down.
Do you talk to other youngsters about the badge program?
Yeah, I talk to a lot of
Do you?
people about the badge program. And a lot of times, parents and family members, because they want to know about it. My parents will tell them about it and try to get their kids in it.
How do your parents feel? Do they see a difference
Yeah,
in you? What have they said to you?
probably more respect for people. It's like, especially for law enforcement officers, because some people are, some people portray them differently than others, and when you know them on a personal level and as friends, you have a lot more respect for them, and you realize how much they really do for you.
Yeah, this is very true. How about your folks? Are they happy with what
Yes.
you're doing?
They see me respectful and responsible for the things I do.
And you feel better about yourself?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I think the DARE program, the badge program, is something that is very special.
Mm-hmm. It
I
is.
think that Sergeant Gregory, who was the mother hen on this from the very beginning
God
and
send,
has
yes.
expanded so beautifully now,
Yes.
deserves a lot of credit.
She's wonderful.
And each one of you, the deputies and the teachers, y'all deserve a great big hand of thank you for what
Thank
you're
you.
doing for our kids, because these
Thank you.
kids are our kids, belongs to all of us.
Yes. Mhm.
And you two young men, I'm proud to see you, proud to meet you. I wish you lots of luck in your future. And maybe you can come back someday and visit with a deputy who will be kind of old and gray by the time you graduate from high school, but you can come back and tell them what you're doing. Okay? Thank you very much for being with us.
Okay.
And we'll see you next week.